The biggest question that everyone has in this market right now is, are we about to experience another leg up, or was this simply just a relief rally from all the pain that we've seen over the last couple of months? And it is hard to say 100% what's to come next, but I do feel like we do have another leg up loading in this market. I'll go over why that is. And usually heading into May, as we are a few days away from the month of May, people say sell in May, go away. That has actually typically panned out pretty well, but that doesn't necessarily mean you need to sell everything right now before we potentially have another next leg up. I'm going to go over what I'm doing heading into the summertime months, where I think things could become a little bit uncertain. Things could be a little less hectic, not as fast moving, but heading into Q3 and Q4, you want to be positioned correctly. So I'm going to go over my thesis over this market in this video, as well as the altcoins I'm isolating for short-term gain. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, guys. Like the video down below and subscribe to the channel for more every day and every single week here on In the Game. We have you covered from crypto gaming, AI, RWA, meme coins, and more. And of course, a big shout out to our sponsors down below in the description. You can check out all of our sponsors from Cradle Games as well as 𝗲𝗏𝗪𝗁, and you can check out our exchange partners down below as well. We have Blowfin and 𝗬𝗏𝗡. I would highly recommend you guys to check out Blowfin. This is where I'm placing all of my trades day to day on a centralized exchange. No KYC, easy in, easy withdrawals, as well tons of trading pairs for you to choose from. There's always sign up bonuses available down below in the description on this channel. So you can check that out in the description down below. Let's go ahead and dive right into it, guys, because right now, Bitcoin is having one of its first quote unquote red days in quite some time. We're down 0.2% on the daily. So it's not like anything catastrophic here. We're sitting in the high 93,000s to start this week. But to be honest, if we look across the board, we've seen nice bounces across some top altcoins. Virtual's protocols back over $1 billion at $1.2 billion market cap. Pengu has been probably the best trade during this time period. Pengu is up 128% on the weekly chart, which is just absolutely insane. We see Brett up 75%. Once again, meme coins are leading the charge, which is just crazy to see. At the end of the day, people hate on meme coins, but they always lead the surge when it comes to gains, especially during this time period. We have 𝗬𝗎, which I think is the main character also right now as far as utility altcoins. This thing's up 58% over the weekly time frame. So some altcoins have experienced some pretty nice bounces, and I have to say the portfolio is looking a lot healthier after this last couple of week rally that we have seen in crypto. But is this going to continue? Was this simply just a relief rally? What are we experiencing next in this market? What are going to be the catalysts that could potentially send us a little higher? Well, let's jump into it. First and foremost, when you just look at what's going on in the crypto space, there's just so many bullish things. We see an Avalanche ETF around the corner. We see Coinbase launching a Bitcoin yield fund, which is effective here in 3 days, which is offering a 4 to 8% annualized return to non-US institutional investors through a cash and carry trade strategy. We also see Jack Mallers' 21 company coming and competing a little bit with MicroStrategy. Are they going to be as big as MicroStrategy? No, but healthy competition is good in every industry, okay? There's always a monopoly, but at the same time, they have competitors and there is market share in every industry, right? So at the end of the day, I like that there's now competition to something like a MicroStrategy. We see Standard Chartered Bank, one of the biggest banking institutions in the world, saying they predict Bitcoin to reach an all-time high in the second quarter. That would be pretty crazy, especially based off of historics whenever it comes to Bitcoin and crypto. So for me, my thesis, whenever I laid this out, actually a couple weeks ago when we started this rally, my opinion on this market is that we have a pre-summertime pump. Do we see all-time highs this quarter? Personally speaking, I don't think so. I don't know that we break through all-time highs during this quarter. Now cycle, yes. During this quarter, No, I would be pretty surprised if we end up seeing like $108,000, $110,000 Bitcoin in the next couple of weeks. I mean, obviously, I'd be very happy, and I think altcoins would be in a very good spot if that does occur. But to me, summertime is always a slow time in these markets. If we just look at 2023, the summertime was really nothing but downward and sideways price action. This last year, downward price action, even leading into an election where crypto was the priority. And then we see a big rally literally beginning in September. This is almost like clockwork where, they say sell in May, go away. I do think we see a little bit of a continuation of this market to the upside heading into May. But after that, I think we get into a little bit of a choppy environment. I think sideways price action to even a little bit of a downturn in the market once again, because we've said it on this show a lot. The adage that the traders, they go on vacation they're not at their trading desks. The liquidity isn't necessarily in and out every single day in the markets like we see at every other month other than the summer months. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a slow summer, but after the summertime, we see things light up like we've probably never seen before. This last year, that was not a bull market, okay? That was simply a bunch of speculation based off of the fact that Trump was so pro crypto and everyone traded into that. Retail didn't really take the bait. They only put the tip in, as we see Becker say here. This year, they're going to go balls deep into the pencil sharpener of risk and FOMO. So you got to love the verbiage there. But whenever I'm looking at the market right now, I think there's clear opportunities in a few different sectors. You guys know I'm very bullish on gaming. And look, I wouldn't be surprised, it's going to sound crazy, to see 𝗬𝗍 just continue to climb over this cycle. Obviously, on the monthly chart, this thing's up 54%. But over this last week, we got confirmation. Last week, okay, I did a video right here on this channel covering the rumors at the time and some leaks that came out that Pokemon was coming to crypto gaming. So, a lot of people were like, oh, that's not true, this. Well, this last week, we just got the confirmation. Pokemon is implementing digital souvenirs. Now, these aren't necessarily outward-facing NFTs. What they're doing is really the theory and the psychology behind it that I've always thought. There's a permissionless blockchain that allows players and users to trade seamlessly. No middleman, no scams, no black market. You don't have to mail your trading cards or your collectibles across the globe and hope you receive payment or whatever the case is, okay? Pokemon now, they're game, Pokemon Home. This is in a specific game. It's not the whole Pokemon ecosystem. Let's also just get that straight. Pokemon Home is an individual game. They are utilizing the 𝗬𝗍 blockchain to store and also facilitate the trades of Pokemon Home digital souvenirs. Now, what this does, they're just using it as the underlying technology. They're not going to go and tell you this is an NFT, this is on the blockchain, but on the back end, that is the tech that they are using. And it's like AWS. If you could have invested in the software of Amazon Workspace or Amazon, any of their tool suites or G Suites when it comes to Google, I would invest in that 10 out of 10 times. And on the back end, you as a user use things that use AWS every single day. You might just not know it. A lot of things run on the back end using AWS Cloud or something like that. That's basically what 𝗬𝗍 is doing here with Pokemon. But we have to understand this is not NFTs. They are literally just utilizing the tech. And I do think the storage and facilitating of trades on the blockchain makes so much sense for gaming. And I think this could really turn the tide for a bunch of mainstream businesses and IPs like Pokemon to come in and use blockchain as simply a layer behind the scenes. And look, 𝗬𝗍 is showing the price action up 54% over the month. And if they really are going to be that back end layer for something like Pokemon, 𝗬𝗍 is just going to continue to run. So shout out to anyone who has 𝗬𝗍 in their portfolio. I think this one does continue to climb over the course of time. The two that I'm going to say next, so I do like 𝗬𝗍. I would maybe wait for a little bit of a pullback, but I think 𝗬𝗍 continues to climb the charts as far as market cap, catches up to some other coins here like Tron or Cardano. In perspective, it's 2.5 undervalued, these tokens, by circulating market cap. I think that that's a proposition that I would be looking at for sure. My next two are AVAX and Gun. I think that Gun is one of the best short-term to mid-term trades that you can take in this market. When I say short-term, that's, maybe even over the next month, but mid-term, I think 6 to 8 month trade here on Gunzilla is going to pan out so well. First and foremost, tokenomics are friendly. There's no token unlocks coming up. And what we're seeing right now is the transition to mainnet. And what this is going to do, people are going to be doing a lot of transactions on chain, utilizing their guns tokens to purchase skins, weapons, attachments, character customization, everything like that. They're going to be spending it inside the game. A percentage of this goes into buybacks, but this game is going to be profitable and revenue generating here in the very, very short term. And as we see here, the mainnet is rolling out. There's 1,000 users right now that have already received their mainnet nodes. There's 10K validators going live in the short term, major game updates, cross-platform. First 1,000 players have already migrated to the mainnet, and legendary hexes, which have not been released yet, the most rare hex that you can open inside the game. And to kind of term that down, if you're not like a big gamer or you don't play off the grid, it's basically like the rarest pack or rarest cube or skin or box, loot box that you can find inside of this ecosystem. And then you open it and it gives you a randomized item. I just think that once the speculation ramps up in this ecosystem, and given the tokenomics here, look, people are going to need to buy guns off the open market to trade. They're going to be speculating and spending inside the game. And once that happens, when you start hearing about how much money people are making inside this ecosystem, I think we easily fly back past that $1 billion fully diluted market cap. So I'm absolutely bullish on Gun, but also obviously AVAX. I think AVAX is a trade that you take here because it is the underlying tech that is powering the chain. So if we start seeing a ton of money spent on the Gunzilla blockchain, if we start seeing a ton of transactions, an increase in transactions and player base, it's AVAX's technology that's powering this. So I think it's a duo there. I would absolutely be looking at Guns and also looking at AVAX. So 𝗬𝗍, Guns, AVAX, I think are three in this market that I would wait for 𝗬𝗍 to pull back, but I think long-term, 𝗬𝗍 has just set them up for such a nice run throughout this bull run. But shorter term, I like AVAX, I like Gunzilla as far as gaming. But right now, gaming's kicking up. And I'm not going to go through the other, you guys know I love Ronin, Prime, Avalanche, Beam, Super, but they're not really the ones that I'm isolating in the short term at this moment in time. But we do see gaming kicking up. It might feel a little slow. I tweeted this today, but with Pokemon coming to 𝗬𝗍, off the grid going to mainnet, we have on-chain heroes resuming their season coming up soon. Their gacha zone just opened. They airdropped the top 10 players for season 1, so it does seem like season 2 is about to kick up. There's a lot of things going on, and maybe it doesn't feel as hectic. Like there's not 50 games out there that people are just going crazy about. But what we've seen is consolidation. A lot of games have folded, a lot of games have left, a lot of games have flipped the script, their strategy, they're moving into AI, whatever the case is, but the quality has really risen to the top, and I think it's making it a lot easier to figure out who the winners are going to be when this market turns around. And if you missed it, I did a portfolio update in the last video on this channel. I went over my entire portfolio. I've trimmed down tons of positions. I've kind of shifted around the narratives that I'm in between gaming, AI, chains, RWA, meme coins. I would 100% advise to check out that video after we conclude this video. We also see Cambria, their $1 million prize pool just concluded as well. We see 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 claiming year 1, build, and then year 2, deliver. So looking for big things coming from 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and the 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗙 token. And there's tons of opportunities in gaming right now to go play games and get paid. Like it's that easy at this point in time. If you get your hands on the 𝗬𝗍 Play Ryzen games by 𝗥�AI, you can just play Steam games, Web 2 games, and get paid. Like it's that simple. You can go right now play the Mantle Games Fest. There's $200,000 in prizes up for grabs there. There's a lot going on in this market. There's 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Season 1. I think 3% of the token plot supply is up for grabs. SoFon, they're doing their rewards. They actually just distributed SoFon tokens, 27.5K to the winners of the initial Yapper rewards. So there's a lot of opportunity in this market in gaming specifically. And I would be taking advantage of it, whether it's investing in the top projects at these lows, because this is nothing compared to what we're going to see at a peak market, peak alt season. And I think if you're just investing in the right projects, your downside from here is so minimal to what the upside is from here. Your risk reward in this market is fantastic to the upside. As far as AI, obviously we've been seeing 𝗬 just absolutely crush it. 𝗬 is sitting right now, another green day, but up 60% over the monthly time frame. So if I'm looking right now at an AI token that I'm going to isolate, I'm isolating one that's inside of the 𝗬 ecosystem, and that's Neural AI. Neural's still sitting around $3, but look at the all-time high on this token. Like, we were sitting at $15 up here in the height of the AI mania in December. And this is a quality project. This is not one that's just going to go away. They're continuously shipping. I know this team. This is one that I have the most conviction in as far as low market cap AI coins, and I'm loading up a position here for a big run whenever AI coins and overall altcoins start to run. So that's really what I'm looking at this point in time. If there are 4 coins that I would still be looking to actively place positions into, and look, what I DCA at this level: Super, Beam, Ronin, Prime, Render. I like GPU at these levels. I still think there's a lot of good altcoins out there to be had when it comes to DCAing. But for me right now, I'm looking at 𝗬𝗎 from a pullback perspective, because we almost just ran to $4. It's up 59% over the weekly. Let this thing cool off a little bit. Look, narrative shift and turn. I would be looking to grab some 𝗬𝗎. Maybe even if you go into the summertime without a big 𝗬𝗎 bag, I think that that's worth doing, because look, Pokemon by itself could bring so much activity to the 𝗬𝗎 blockchain. So I think that's a must accumulate over the coming months. But in the now, I would be looking at Avalanche, Gun, and also Neural in the AI sector. As far as meme coins, look, Pengu, Brett, Mog. That's it. And we have Pengu now back over $1 billion, so I wouldn't really be splashing too hard in that bag at this moment. But I do think Mog has moved the least out of all of these. If we were to find Mog on here, I know it is on this watch list. Mog, here we are. Yeah, it's only up 45% over the month, whereas stuff like Brett is up 102%, and Pudgy Penguin's Pengu token is up 100. So those are the only 3 memes that I'm really dabbling in at this point in time. I still have a position in Calvin. It's about a $1 million market cap, but that is definitely higher risk. So that's what I'm looking at in this market right now, guys. I think that there's short-term catalysts to potentially have major impact on the Gun token as well as AVAX. And then I just think AI coins are so undervalued. I'm looking at Neural AI in this market. And look, I do think the pump continues slightly into May. Maybe it does become by the end of the month a sell in May, go away situation. I do think summer is going to be a little uncertain. But Q3 and Q4 should be very fruitful for altcoins and for crypto investors in general. You just got to stick through it and survive these types of times that we just experienced over the last few months. Because now, you know, everyone's kind of looking up and onward, like the longer term time horizon. And that's what you have to focus on in this market, or it will leave you behind 10 times out of 10. So always see the bigger picture. Don't let the short term swings and volatility shake you out, because the long term investors in this market, if you hold anything other than Ethereum, of course, usually do come out on top. I'm just joking. I'm bullish on Ethereum, but you guys like the video down below and subscribe to the channel for more every single week here on In the Game. We have you covered from top to bottom. I'm also, as soon as the mainnet is fully active, I'm going to do a full guide of how to earn, how to activate your nodes, how those nodes work and operate on the off-the-grid 𝗀𝗄𝗏 blockchain. I was about to say testnet. It is now mainnet. So you guys like and subscribe down below. I'll see y'all on the next one and later this week. As always, play well, my friends, and of course, stay bullish, my friends.